Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, the numbers are in for the Edmonton Real Estate Board for the month of June. I'm going to do a couple things different in this particular report. Number one, I'm going to compare the first 6 months of 2018 to the first 6 months of 2019 as we're halfway through the year. Also, at the very end, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what percentage of the total sales in 2018 took place in the first half of the year opposed to the second half to get you an idea what you can expect moving into the second half of the year. First, 2019, January to June. What's going on? Our sales in June were 1,811. They were down slightly from May, which was 1,981. We were down by 8.6%. Now, this was common in every market that we report in across Canada, which is very normal. May is quite often the busiest month of the year. It could be April, but it's usually May. And then June, it starts to slow a little bit as we move into the summer, right? So yes, it was off a little bit here. But here's the number, the most important number that I'm always concerned with, which is months of inventory. So you take the active listings at the end of the month. In January, you had 7,100. We divide the sales into that, and that gives us months of inventory. Determines the strength or weakness of a market, right? 4 to 6 balanced. Above 6 is going to be buyers. Below 4 is going to be sellers market. Look at, we started 8.9 months of inventory. Obviously, buyers market. Went to 7.5 in February, 6.9. Happened right here in March. April, 5.4, 4.8 in May, and then back up to 5.2 in June. So basically, we're staying right around, you can see, right around that 5 months of inventory. So you're sort of in a very balanced market right now. Now, probably inexpensive detached is a little stronger. Condominiums probably a little weaker because there would be more months of inventory in different property types. What's going on with prices? We started the year at $339. We're now sitting at $366. However, we were down a little bit. We were $369 last month, and we're $366 this month. So pretty well the same if you look at it. But right here, you're in a very balanced market. Here, you're in a buyer's market, a little more difficult to work in. So generally, things are not all bad. What about June last year to June this year? 1,800 sales last year. 1,811, okay, so just up, you might as well say the same. What about prices? 378 last year, 366. Why would this be happening? Have a look at this. This here is probably the most important graph you could use with buyers and with sellers. Help them understand the market, and it shows the trends. It's all based on months of inventory because that determines the strength of a market. So if we look here, we go back to 2017. You started with 7 months of inventory, okay, down a little bit, back up. We ended at 6.3. So the end of 2017, we ended at 6.3. What about 2018? We started at 7, right where we started in 2017. Okay, we went along and we ended at 8.8 months of inventory. Buyer's market, right? Where do we start this year? 9. So it went 9, and it's just constantly been coming down. And if you look right here, you can see the last 3 months, our months of inventory have been below what it was in 2018. So all good news, everybody. We had 5.2 months right here in 2019. We had 5.7 in 2018. So overall, things are going the right way, which is all good news. Okay, first 6 months of the year. Last year, we did 8,790 sales. 8440, our sales are off by about 4%. Why? Well, the first 3 months of the year were pretty weak, right? But here's what's interesting. In 2018, if we take all of the sales and we look at it, 54% of the sales took place in the first half of the year and 46% in the second half of the year. Again, in every market in Canada is the same, that more sales will always take place in the first half of the year. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I don't know where you are as a sales professional in your goals. Are you ahead? Are you behind? Are you on track? But understand, you have less opportunity in the second half of the year. So be careful what you do in July and August. Here's my recommendation. Set a summer goal. So say, how many sales am I going to do in July and August? And then say, now what are the behaviors that are necessary to make those sales come true? Right? How many people do I have to talk to? How many videos do I have to sell? How many texts do I have to, or videos do I have to make or send? How many texts do I have to send? How many emails do I need to do? How much lead gen? And determine the behaviors. Now, I get we want to go on holidays. Hey, I'm all for that, having a really good time. But I think in the summer, what happens is people start to cruise through the summer. Well, cruising through the summer is going to make for a very slow fall because it is the work you're doing now that will determine how busy you're going to be in the fall. So understand that right now, reaching out to clients, lead generation, lead conversion, lead follow-up, you've got to be doing that in July and August. And I promise you this, if you set goals for yourself in terms of the behaviors, right, the things that you can control every single day, your fall is going to be much stronger. Because look at this, we've got less business available to us in the last half than we do in the first half. Hope that was helpful, everybody. All the best, enjoy the summer, and remember, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.